Kyle Richards opens up about her bond with Teddi Mellencamp. Kyle Richards says Teddi Mellencamp is more than a friend and former castmate. She's her sister. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills mom shed more light on the relationship in a recent sit-down for Glamour magazine, in which she interviewed Teddi and addressed some of the misconceptions about her longtime bestie. "I always say Teddi's the best thing that ever came out of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for me," Kyle revealed in the July 17 Q&A. "I think people are surprised at just how strong of a friendship we have. She's a sister to me. She's family. I share everything with her, and I trust her with my life." Kyle Richards says she's gotten to know the real Teddi Mellencamp. Kyle and Teddi's friendship began in 2017, when the latter joined the rhobh Season 8. The pair immediately developed a tight bond that was unlike many of Kyle's on-screen friendships. "I've had friendships with other housewives, but with some of them I still had to be a little cautious," Kyle said. "With Teddi, there was never any of that. It was automatic. We're friends and we trust each other. It feels like we've been friends our whole lives." Kyle said she was fortunate to know Teddi outside the housewives and podcast spheres, as she's gotten to see the many aspects of Teddi's personality, something most Bravo fans never get to experience. "There are so many things people don't realize about Teddi," Kyle explained. "She's extremely intelligent. She's an amazing writer. She's also an incredible mother and friend. I think when people get to know Teddi at first, like they did on Housewives and her podcast, they only see one side," Kyle continued. "I'm fortunate to know the real Teddi. Teddi comes off so strong that I don't think people realize she's a very sensitive person. She masks it very well, but she is. When Teddi was sick, people would sometimes still say mean comments. I'm like, what is wrong with people? She is sensitive and she's a human being. We all are. She comes across so tough that I think people forget that." Teddi Mellencamp's skin cancer battle. It's been 5 years since Teddi left rhobh, but her friendship with Kyle has only gotten stronger. This was further demonstrated in early 2025, after Teddi was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. The mother of 3 announced the heartbreaking news in February, less than 3 years after Kyle urged her to get checked for melanoma. Teddi recalled the moment in a 2022 interview with Briefing on Bravo, saying Kyle expressed concern after noticing discoloration on Teddi's back. "I was running with Kyle Richards, actually, and she was like, 'Hey, one of your spots is, like, black,'" Teddi said. "You need to go to the dermatologist and get it checked." "We went in, and immediately they biopsied it, and it came back melanoma." Teddi spent the following years battling melanoma, undergoing various treatments and more than a dozen excisions. In February, Teddi revealed the cancer had metastasized, resulting in multiple tumors in her brain and lungs. She has since had surgeries to remove the masses and is undergoing immunotherapy. Teddi Mellencamp navigates her health issues with Kyle Richards' support. Although Kyle praised Teddi for maintaining resilience, she admitted that the health issue has caused a few moments of tension. "After you just had your surgery and were on steroids, we had to remind each other, your support group, that we were going to get our feelings hurt sometimes," Kyle told Teddi during their Glamour interview. "That you wouldn't always be in a good mood, and steroids can make you feel angry or aggressive. And then I spent the night there, and you woke up and looked at me and said, 'What are you still doing here?' And I was like, 'I don't want to be here either, Ted.' I was like, 'Oh, I'm getting my feelings hurt.'" Teddi confessed she tried to block out those moments, and most of her hospital stay was a blur. The Indiana native said she has mellowed out quite a bit over the past few months, and it's thanks in large part to her support group. "Being able to laugh and joke, and not take things as seriously as I used to in those moments, has helped," she said. "I attribute a lot of that to my friends and my kids being able to know what makes me laugh. They know what I need. That's why you've got to have the close ones close by." I always say Teddi's the best thing that ever came out of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for me, Kyle began, her voice a soft testament to years of shared laughter and tears. It was a declaration that often surprised people, those who only saw the curated snippets, the edited narratives. I think people are surprised at just how strong of a friendship we have. She's a sister to me. She's family. I share everything with her and I trust her with my life. The words hung in the air, weighted with a sincerity that transcended the usual platitudes of celebrity friendships. For Kyle, a veteran of the reality television landscape, genuine connections were rare, often fragile, and easily distorted. She'd navigated the treacherous waters of on-screen alliances, always with a cautious reserve, a protective barrier around her heart. But with Teddi, it had been different from the very beginning. Their bond had ignited in 2017 when Teddi, with her no-nonsense demeanor and refreshing candor, joined the cast of rhobh for its 8th season. Kyle remembered the initial apprehension, the familiar dance of sizing up a new housewife, wondering where they'd fit into the intricate social tapestry. But with Teddi, the usual guardedness melted away with astonishing speed. I've had friendships with other housewives, but with some of them I still had to be a little cautious, Kyle explained, her gaze drifting, as if replaying old scenes in her mind. With Teddi, there was never any of that. It was automatic. We're friends and we trust each other. It feels like we've been friends our whole lives. It was a kinship born not of convenience or shared screen time, but of a deeper resonance. Kyle found in Teddi a mirror to her own loyalty, a steadfastness that was both grounding and liberating. Away from the cameras, away from the podcast microphones, Kyle discovered facets of Teddi that the public rarely, if ever, saw. The accountability coach persona, while authentic, was merely one note in a rich, complex symphony. There are so many things people don't realize about Teddi, Kyle mused, a fond smile playing on her lips. She's extremely intelligent. She's an amazing writer. Her insights, her way with words, it's truly remarkable. And beyond that, she's an incredible mother, so devoted and an even more incredible friend. Kyle often felt a pang of protectiveness when she heard the public's sometimes harsh judgments. I think when people get to know Teddi at first, like they did on Housewives in her podcast, they only see one side, she continued. I'm fortunate to know the real Teddi, the one who, despite her tough exterior, is incredibly sensitive. She masks it very well, but she is. She recalled moments when Teddi, battling her illness, would still be subjected to cruel online comments. I'm like, what is wrong with people? She is sensitive and she's a human being. We all are. She comes across so tough that I think people forget that. It was a frustration born of love, a desire for the world to see the Teddi she knew, the one whose strength was interwoven with a profound vulnerability. The true crucible of their friendship, however, came years after Teddi had stepped away from the glitz and glamour of rhobh. 5 years had passed since her departure, and their bond, far from fading, had only deepened, evolving into something unbreakable. Then, in early 2025, a devastating shadow fell over Teddi's life, a diagnosis of stage 4 cancer. Kyle remembered the chilling familiarity of the news. It had been less than 3 years prior, during a casual run, that she had first voiced her concern. The memory was stark, etched into her mind. They were pounding the pavement, the morning sun just beginning to warm their backs, when Kyle's eyes caught a dark, irregular spot on Teddi's back. Hey, one of your spots is, like, black, Kyle had said, her voice laced with an instinctive worry. You need to go to the dermatologist and get it checked. Teddi, ever pragmatic, had listened. They went in, the biopsy was immediate, and the results came back, melanoma. It was a terrifying word, but they faced it head-on. Teddi embarked on a journey of treatments, excisions, a relentless fight against a silent enemy. They thought they had won. They celebrated the small victories, breathed sighs of relief with each clear scan. Then February arrived, bringing with it a cruel twist of fate. The cancer had metastasized, spreading its tendrils to her brain and lungs. Stage 4. The news hit like a physical blow, not just to Teddi, but to Kyle, to their entire circle. Surgeries followed, then immunotherapy, a new, arduous chapter in Teddi's battle. Through it all, Kyle was a constant. She was there for the anxious waits, the post-surgery haze, the quiet moments of fear and frustration. She witnessed Teddi's incredible resilience, her unwavering spirit in the face of unimaginable odds. Yet even the strongest bonds could fray under such immense pressure. Kyle candidly shared a moment of raw truth from their glamour interview, a glimpse into the messy, beautiful reality of supporting someone through profound illness. After you just had your surgery and were on steroids, we had to remind each other, your support group, that we were going to get our feelings hurt sometimes, Kyle recounted, looking at Teddi with a knowing gaze.